Understanding the plants is huge in helping you know what to do for or what to use them for. The doctrine of signatures is the belief that God marked his plants with his signature that shows us what the purpose of that plant was for. 90% of what diseases we have is because of what we do or do not eat. And there is a French saying, and I'm not even going to try to do it, but here it is. And it translates to, tell me what you eat, and I will tell you what you are. And what that means basically is, as I said, the adaptogens, whenever you take these foods into your body, they help your body in ways that medicine never could. You can take all the heart medicine you want from now until the cow jumps over the moon, but that's not going to nourish the heart or give the heart the raw materials for it to heal and be stronger. Only nutrients can do that. Foods and herbs.
Mary?
Yes?
Can I interject here?
Absolutely.
One of the things that I totally agree with what she says. First off, because if you're not getting the right nutrients through food, nutritional changes, et cetera, there's really no reason to go on any further, to try to do anything without making nutritional changes, because we're going to get the most of our nutrients, our vitamins and minerals from the proper foods that deal with the proper body parts or systems.
I agree. Yep, diet is essential. And anyone that you go to, and I hope anyone who comes to these classes never does this themselves, they just say, here, take this herb, without talking about your diet do's and don'ts, are missing the boat.
I agree. I personally think, and I've taught this before to people that I work with, that if you do not work with nutrition, please don't bother. Move on. Go somewhere else and get a different career instead of just pushing drugs or herbs.
I agree. Macrocosms and microcosms. Basically, this has been seen all throughout history. We find these patterns in math. There's patterns in sound, in music. There's patterns in a lot of things. And this is an old saying, as is above, so it is below. And it is what they used to say way back in Hippocrates' time. And what it means basically is this. These patterns, no matter how large, the largest thing we know of in the world is the universe, is our solar system. You have a center, the sun, and then you have planets that twist, they turn, and they follow a route. The smallest thing, like an atom, has a center with electrons that go around it. So can you see how this and this are actually quite similar, just size? But the concept, the pattern of it, it is universal.
And did you know that the part cosm, like macro and micro, we know are large and small, but cosm means order or harmonious relationship.
Good, yeah. As it is above, so it is below. And you will see this in so many things. But basically, and where the first time I saw this was on The Medicine Man. Had Sean Connery. Oh, the man's 2,000 years old. He's still sexy. But anyhow, he played a doctor, and they had one of these little things here that I am circling that I cannot pronounce. And they showed different peaks. And he had found a peak that cured lymphoma or cancers. and they couldn't find that peak again. So this is a machine that can pick up every individual and unique peak, as it were, the vibration, because all these things have different vibrations. Hydrogen has a different vibration, oxygen, and nitrogen, methane, and so on. So each of these peaks indicates a different element. So out of 14,000, we know about what, 1,000th of what is in an avocado. That's just an avocado. The example I use a lot, but I think is just as fascinating, is the English used to be called limeys because the English would take lime on their boats whenever they'd be out on the sea for a long period of time, because they knew that eating limes could prevent scurvy, which is where the blood vessels break down, the tissue break down. I mean, you can lose limbs and life to scurvy. So they would take limes in their boat. Whenever they realized that it was working for them, and scientists started deciding to take things apart, they decided that it was the vitamin C in the lime that prevented scurvy. So these doctors, or pharmacists, not doctors, pharmacists, was isolating vitamin C and giving it to people. And people were taking it instead of eating things that contained vitamin C. And they found out that these people were still getting scurvy. So they went back and they studied a little longer, a little harder. And they said, you know what? It's actually the bioflavonoids that's with the vitamin C that prevents scurvy. They tried isolating that. Less people got scurvy, but if the person stayed on that alone long enough, they would develop scurvy. Then they studied even further, and they said, you know what? There's something even smaller called rutin, R-U-T-I-N, that's with the bioflavonoids in the vitamin C that prevents scurvy. In the meantime, people who ate lime didn't get scurvy. There is so much that is in foods, and especially herbs, that we don't understand what they are. Apricots. People used to take Laetrile, which is made out of apricots, and they were getting poisoned. I know everybody says, oh, Laetrile was taken off the market because it cures cancer. Well, who knows, that might be part of it, but the fact is, there is a poison, a slight poison in the apricot seed that, if taken in huge amounts, can cause some harm. But the antidote to that is in the apricot itself. So if you would take apricot seeds and eat them, and eat the apricot fruit with it, as far as I know, it's impossible to get poisoned by it. So for these reasons, I like using the whole foods. My absolute belief is the more that man messes around with something, food or herbs, the more he's going to screw it up. I think it is arrogant of pharmaceuticals to think that they're going to do a better job than what God does. So I try to get as close to nature as possible. Now, there are a few things like calcium. Sometimes you need to take a calcium supplement, you know, but my belief is food is number one, herbs is the next step, and then isolated things like calcium, vitamins would be the next step. But eating a really good diet, eating herbs in their whole form, the whole herb, are the first two steps of being healthy. Any questions about any of this?
No.
All right. Plants, we are just absolutely amazing. There's a book I used to have and I lost it. Whenever I moved to my daughter's, I just could kick myself. It's called The Secret Language of Plants, and it's by a Dr. Stephen Buerner. He talks about plants. There's these trees that, let's say you have a tree here and a tree here. if this tree starts getting attacked by something, like a worm or something is going to kill the leaves and kill the tree, this tree will do a couple things. One is it will release a smell that brings other insects in that will kill what is attacking it. So leave a scent out, and the other insects go, that smells very good. And they go, and whenever they go there, they see the bug that is attacking the tree, so they don't eat the bugs. That's ingenious. That's intelligence. That is something beyond what we really understand so far. But what they found out beyond that is even more interesting. If this tree is anywhere near this tree, we're talking yards and yards away, many, many feet away, this tree will release a scent that tells this tree to do the exact same thing. They communicate using scents. Isn't that like the coolest crap you ever heard?
I think so too. They use movement too through vibration.
Yeah, you're
right.
Yeah,
I posted the video by Bruner, The Secret Language of Plants.
Oh, wait a minute, I gotta click on that. I want to watch that after.
Well, yeah, because he just talks. It just shows him personally, and then he talks, but it's amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I am just going to teach what little I know about this. Again, just like the avocado, we are just scratching the surface that's out there.